Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome to yet another episode on Little's Law YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to see about another LoadRunner utility function, which is the LR debug message. So let us see what is LR debug message in this video and what are all the other supported LoadRunner functions and what is the use of LR debug message function and the related get debug and set debug message functions, and also we'll see them with few examples. So before we move on to the video, this is me, your Vasant Shanmugam. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not subscribed yet. Like and comment your questions and feedbacks in the comment section. So let's now go to the video. So first let's see the syntax of LR debug message function. So let's type LR underscore debug and then the IntelliSense message, which brings us the LR debug underscore message, and in the open brackets. So before that, let's see. So this is the format of the LR debug message, that it starts with the unsigned int message level, that is what is the level of message, whether it is a standard log or an extended log or it's just a trace function. So what level of message we are going to give to the user is what we are going to give it in the first set of function. And then the second option is the constant character start format, where we give the constant, and then the third one is the string function, where we give the string which comes as the output. So these are the three options which we have with the LR debug message. And before we move on to the LR debug message, there are two more LoadRunner utility functions, which is LR underscore get underscore debug message. So this LR underscore get debug message function returns the current log runtime settings. So whatever the current log runtime settings will be displayed when we use this LR get debug message, and that we will try now with an example. And these settings determine what information is sent output. The log settings are specified with the runtime settings or by using the LR set debug function, which we will see again now with an example. So this is the format of LR get debug message, and then we have the LR underscore set underscore debug message, and this function sets the debug message level for the script execution, and by setting the message level we determine which information is sent to the tester or the user. So totally we have three functions, which is the LR debug message, and we have the LR get debug message, where we use this to get the level of messaging that we are going to get, and then we have this LR set debug message, which will set the level of debug message that is going to be set. So first let's start with the LR get debug message, and this will tell us what is the level of messaging that is set. And before that, let's see what is the LR debug message. So this LR debug message sends a debug message when the specified message level is active. Say for example, if the message level is a standard or if it is an extended, so whatever the message level is active, this LR debug message will send or will send the debug message to the user. And if the specified message level is not active, the message is not issued. And we can set this through the log in the runtime settings, and also we can set that using the lr set debug message, and that we are going to see that today in the example. And we have one more option where in the lr debug message we can specify multiple message levels with an or separator, so that again we will be seeing it today. So first let's start with lr get debug message to see what is the debug message that is currently set. So first let's start with lr debug message, get debug message. So for that, let's enter the message level. So we are declaring a integer with the name message level, and then let's assign the value, which is lr get debug message. So far we have declared an integer for message level, and then we are assigning the message level from the lr get debug message LoadRunner utility function. And first let's start with the standard logging. So we will enter and comment that we are checking for standard logging. If the message level that we have given here is in a standard format, and the message level is going to be brief log. So if it is brief log, then automatically the message will be, so the output message is something like a print statement where it will print the level of logging. So we'll get a standard logging is enabled. So by using this lr get debug message, that is the initial set of or initial level of LoadRunner utility function, that helps us to understand what is the debug message. So we'll start with lr get debug message, and let's run this and see what is the level of standard logging, or what is the level of logging that has been set here. It's brief log. So here we did not see, or we don't see any output because the log level is not set. So let's set the enable logging, and we will move it to standard log. So we have enabled the logging in here in the runtime settings, and we have chosen standard log as the detail level. And let's now run this code again and see what happens. So here we can see that the standard logging is enabled, and that we have enabled through the log under the runtime settings, and we have enabled the logging, and we have chosen standard log. So now let's check whether the extended logging is enabled, and for that we will have to choose. I'm copying the same thing which I have selected for standard logging, and then the changes is going to be very small. So let's now change the comment to extended logging, and then under the message level it is going to be extended log instead of brief log. So brief we use it for standard, and for extended it is going to be extended log. So now we have changed this brief to extended. Let's change this to extended logging is enabled. And here under the runtime settings, we will choose extended log. And let's now run the commands or the code to see what level of logging is enabled. And here we can see that the extended logging is enabled. And then we have few more options, which is we can add few more other values. So let me just paste it here. And this is where we can use, or we can get the message level, that is data returned by the server, and the parameter substitution. And before that, let's choose it here. So go to the runtime settings, and under this we have this parameter substitution, data returned by server, and advanced trace. So we choose all this under this extended log. And let's now go here to the action, and let's now execute it and see how does this work and what level of message is being displayed for this. And now here we can see that the extended logging is enabled and the current message level is result data and parameters, and that is what is being executed for this. So far we saw about ELR get debug message. Now let us see LR debug message. That is that if we set the debug or the message level to particular set of logging, that is either it is a standard logging or either it is an extended logging, or what level of logging we have set, and after that, after giving that level of settings, and when we execute our script, and if in case if we need to understand why the script fails or what kind of message or what kind of response do we need to see, so all these things we can use it during the debugging and not during the load test, because this will take more number of CPU resources. So make sure we do all this debug message part during the debugging and not during the load test. So that is one important note that we have to remember. So whatever this get message or the debug message or the set debug message, everything has to happen during the debugging mode. So now, so I'm removing this now, and let's go to the debug message. So for now what I'm doing is I'm giving the LR standard log. So LR message standard log. So if you remember in the previous one we have given, so let me just bring it down. So here we have, so this was the first level of get log messages that we have used. So let me comment it from this to the end so that we can bring it whenever we want it again. So let me remove all these. So all these previous changes which we have made has come under one particular area. So now let me shrink this so that whenever we want we can open this. So under this we can see three level of logging. One is standard logging and the other one is extended logging, and then the third one is where we can see the extended data of the extended logging, where we can see the data returned by the server and the parameter substitution. So far we have understood what are all the logging levels we have. And let's even see that here. So under the logging we have standard and extended. So let's now change it to standard log. And now let's go to the debug message. So that's the main area that we want to explore today. So this is the debug message. So under debug message, let's have only the standard log. And under standard log, we are going to navigate to this facebook.com website, and we will see what level of message we get. And before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck this, or I'm going to disable logging. So because this will show us what kind of message that we get, because here I have set that if it is a standard log, then automatically this message should be displayed whenever we navigate to this website. So now I have disabled it, and let's see what happens. And here, as you noticed, we don't see any message in the output window. So what we're going to do is, like, we'll go to the runtime settings, and let's enable the logging, and let's now run the test. So under enable logging, so we have standard log, and that is what we have chosen here. So we have got standard logs. So here we can see that the message which we have given here as this string have been displayed here, since the logging level is standard log. So let's do one more change. So what we are going to do is we will change it to extended log, and let's run and see what happens, whether the extended log will choose to display this message when we have given the LR debug message as standard log. And let's see how does it work. So here we can see, since we have chosen extended log, every single response of the request has been displayed, but we have, or we could not see the message that we wanted to get displayed. So that is how this logging level works. So what we'll do is we will change this to extended log. So instead of standard log, let's change it to extended log. So now we have chosen extended log, and let's run the same code again. So initially we had standard log, and we have chosen standard log, and then we have standard log, but we have chosen extended log, so that is why we could not see any messages. And now we have chosen extended log, and we have given the LR debug message also as extended log, and this time we are sure that it will display the messages. So let's see now. And here we can see that the message or the string that we wanted to display has been displayed, since the logging level is same as what we wanted to display. And there is one more option we have, that is we can use OR function. So what I'm going to do is, let me give an OR function, so with the OR operator, and we will change this to standard, so it can be either a standard or it can be either an extended. So whatever function it is, the message will be displayed. So it can choose either standard, so based on that the standard logs will be displayed, and if it is extended, automatically the extended level of messages will be displayed, and that is how it works. And in fact we have this full trace which we can use, so we can use multiple options under it. So we have standard log, we have extended log, and then we have full trace. So these will give the amount of responses it is being chosen under the runtime settings. So this is how this LR debug message works. So let's now try the last option, which is the set debug message. So what does this set debug message do? So this set debug message will set the debug message automatically without even touching the runtime settings, and then it will display the debug messages. So let's try that now. So let me comment this part 2, which is the LR debug message. Let's hide it, and let's now move to the part 3, which is LR set debug message. So we will be setting the debug message, and then we will display the debug message. So for that it's same, so LR underscore set underscore debug underscore message, and initially we saw the different levels of debug messages, that is the extended log or the full trace. Let's paste it here. So now we have set, sorry it's here, so we have set the debug messages, and let's now give the debug message under it. It's the same thing what we have given in the debug message, so same code, no change. So the only thing with the debug message we set is we are setting up the debug message, and then we are giving up the debug messages. So here we can see we have got the extended log or the standard log, and then the same coding what we have for the debug message. So let's now run, and before that, if we have, or if we are doing the you setting the debug message in the code, why do we need to do it in the same runtime settings again? It's again a set of duplication. So let's disable it in the log. Okay, and let's now run the script. Okay, and before that what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable this setting the debug message, and I'll need to show that only this debug message reflects only after this set debug message has been set. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this debug message without any logging enabled. There is an error. Okay, this one. So I'm running this, so there is no level of logging is set, and the debug message will not return any values as expected. And again the runtime settings is not enabled. So now we are setting it through LR set debug message, and let's uncheck this and comment this. So now we are setting it, or we are setting the debug message through the LRC set debug message, and then let's run the script again and see how does it work. So here we can see we have not made any settings, or we have not chosen anything under the runtime settings, but every logging level has been set in the code, that is through lr set debug message, that is the extended log. And here we can see it has automatically displayed. So let's now choose the standard log. It's just for an example, and let's see how does it work. Standard log, and again the same way, even for the lr set debug message, we have the options of keeping multiple options, multiple r options, again for the same way what we have for debug message. And let's run it one more, and with that we'll come to an end. So far we saw about what is a debug message, and how to get a debug message, and how to set a debug message, and how to set the different logging levels of debug messages to understand or to get more information while debugging, because this will actually help to crack the challenges or to crack the errors that we get during the debugging or for the in the load test scripts. So this will actually helps us very much when we are in the scripting mode. So here we can see it, and now we are setting up in the standard mode, and that has worked. So, and this again, one more point to remind you, so this debugging messages should be taken care only during the debugging and not during the load testing. So with that we come to an end, and I believe this video would have been very useful to you. Please do subscribe to our channel for more interesting and informative videos. Until we meet you in another interesting video, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and Little's Law.